this information and read it exactly.
Okay, so in response to what Hatman is asking, today, earlier, I was looking through my files and trying to retrieve all this old work. But all this happened in the 80s, in the late 80s, like 1987, 88, 89, and
So that's 30 years ago, roughly.
yes, I did not really find all the material that I wanted to bring to you. But here, I have some
Okay.
of that material that I will bring, and in the future, if there's still interest, I think I could provide all the answers, because I do have all this in files, except that my files are not well ordered in
Well
file
organized.
cabinets or anything. They're in boxes, you
So
know.
George, you're telling us you need a secretary.
No, I would. Yes, I did. I would need a secretary, and I would also need somebody to help me with my Facebook, my YouTube, or whatever. Because I have in YouTube, I also have a page that is also called The Truth, and I have there several works in the newspaper and journalistic investigations that I did beforehand. Some of them have caused big, I don't have the exact word, pero scandalous things, because they're investigations about very, very famous cases where, once again, not the previous president that is in jail now, but the before president,
the one before him.
the one before him, which is the one I showed you yesterday in the comic book, Álvaro Colón y Sandra Torres were involved. And then all the other investigations that I have are against death squads and things where governments are involved. And yesterday I was telling you about the Michael Devine case, where I think that I told you that the one that stopped that investigation was the American Embassy. When I started investigating Juanita, the CIA agent, the backpacker that happened to be going to the Army garrison and had a great command, and that I assume, I'm not really sure, but that she was a CIA agent. But to follow up where we left yesterday, remember that I came back from college and that I was an idealist, but an idealist that had failed myself because of my tremendous admiration for women, right? So that made me sometimes leave my ideals behind on everything. But when I graduated from college, I still had ideals of coming back to Guatemala and doing something in a revolutionary way, which means to correct the situation. Except I was not a leftist anymore, or a communist, let's say. I now had, in America, I learned that there was different systems, and that democracy, if it has the ties that a good democratic state should have, which is Congress, not a president that controls Congress, that controls the Senate.
Checks and balances.
Checks and balances, yes, exactly. So I still had the idea of returning to my country and initiating a movement that would bring changes to Guatemala. Positive changes. But that's when I committed the big mistake in my life. I told you that with Steve, the guy that was the Jewish guy in the business school at Columbia University, who was a dealer and making good money, and that we sent some dollars over to America with weed, and we brought some LSD, Purple Haze back and everything. I got to think When in America they have an ad that's called The Big Lie.
Okay.
And it refers to drugs. Drugs, cocaine in specific, is the big lie. Because people, they snort cocaine and they feel good and get good personality. Their esteem goes up and everything. Yeah? But at the end, instead of getting something positive for them, it turns out to be something horribly negative, right?
Yeah.
So that's the big lie. So I was trapped by the big lie. And I thought that through drugs, through dealing drugs, I could make a big capital, big money, and that way I could finance
Your movement
my
to change
revolutionary movement to change Guatemala,
Okay.
which proved to be the worst mistake I made in my life. Because not only never did the movement, but I became addicted myself. You know? And there was a time when I went addiction even to heavy drugs, not only pot and marijuana, but afterward I started snorting cocaine and everything. But so I will go back to the comics, remembering that our last was saying the Buki in the Universidad. So right now I have this comic book that's called El Buki en las entrañas del narco, which is the last comic that you can see in the truth, and I will talk briefly about this comic. We started with Steve, the American guy, hired a guy, an ex-Sinsemilla expert from California, and brought him down to Guatemala and got a piece of terrain in Petén, northern Guatemala, and started a big plantation. I also told you that I had a bar and some mining rights at the same time, because Steve was a big capitalist. He had good money to invest. So that's what I tell in this new comic book. My first venture in narcotics was a failure because we chose a bad piece of land in Petén that did not have a good water supply. So we had to carry water from like 10 miles away, and in the winter the roads were bad, there was very little water, and we had oxen with a carriage behind, carrying water every day, and the quantity of water was not enough, so the plantation was a failure, and that went bad. So I started with Steve again in the music business. I met in a hotel here in Guatemala, a 5-star hotel, a singer, a Guatemalan singer, and she was an excellent singer, and she was also beautiful, you know. So at the end, I fell in love with her, and we started a relationship. And I have a daughter with this lady, but at the time, she was a very popular singer in Guatemala and used to sing in the bar of that hotel, which was a Sheraton hotel. El Conquistador Sheraton was the name.
Does your daughter also, by that mother, does she sing?
Yes, she sings.
Okay,
yes.
so she got the good stuff from
Yeah,
her. Okay.
This lady, her name was Maria Velasco, and all her family, they're all singing.
Okay.
And she's got a son also from some other gentleman, and he's got a beautiful voice, he's a young guy, and he's a singer. And my daughter, she sings, and every time she's got a chance in a restaurant, there's karaoke or whatever, she sings, but she does not sing professionally.
Last night when we went to the art opening for your daughter, Chad and I both, you know, we think a lot of your kids. We met 2 of your daughters, and we met Leo here several times earlier, but we think that, you know, you must be a good papa because you have good children.
Well, thanks a lot. Yes, they say that you're measured by the children you have, and I think, you know, at the end, I've lived in a life of violence, and I've been associated to killings and things, but I have never been a cold-blooded murderer. I've had played combats in life where there's been dead people, I admit. But I would never go and assassinate someone cold-blooded.
Just to shoot them on the street and take their money from them.
Yes, in battle, combat is a different thing. But I do have a lovable children. And I was saying that even through all that life and drugs and everything, I'm a believer. I believe that there is some kind of power out there in the universe. Maybe not the God that the Bible says, but some positive vibration in life, And I tend to think myself as being in the positive side. Even when I said when I like drugs and things, and when I was deep inside drugs, I did not like myself. I knew it was a thing, and I finally came out of drugs through the love of my children. When they started growing up and they got to a phase in life where they started knowing reality, I just said no more, man. I can't have my children seeing me all drugged up and we're everything. So I think that the love of my children and the love of that positive power and faith gave me the strength to go back into a life where I never shut up. That's the only thing I didn't do. But I smoked crack, I snorted, and it was a horrible life. But I will finish about this Buki en las entrañas del narco. So I said we went into the music business with this girl. We made a band, and she started not only singing covers in the hotel where she used to work, but started making her own music and this band, and we were pushing this band ahead. But my addiction was getting heavier every time, and then estoy en medio de un